The difference between the full sides in the second half.
Brad Henderson to take us away for the second half.
Thanks very much, Ben. As the siren sounds, the third quarter begins of this Anzac Day clash, and gee, it was a fiery contest in that first half. Will that continue? As Morrison boots the ball forward, bit of a tumbling kick, was intended there for Musso, was knocked away by Malloy. Malloy just keeps paddling it in front of himself to the boundary line and finds the sanctuary of the boundary for a throw-in. 13 points the lead for Doncaster East, and the first effective clearance there going the way of the Doncaster East side. There's a quick kick towards the boundary line and once again over the line. So umpire throws it back into play. Morrison, the ball fell well short of the intended ruckman there. This is Shalakis who takes possession. He was lively early in this game, had a bit of a quiet second term.
Oh, yes.
Drifts across the face, and again, Dean Limback just too strong, had front position, and he just takes those one grab marks. He doesn't juggle them. He doesn't show any of it to the opposition. He just takes the mark, and his kicking today has left something to be desired. You would expect him to go back and slot through his third goal, though, here.
As we said before, Brad, great body work. He made sure that he was on the ball side, and it just bodied his opponent to the opposite side. Hit the post.
He's hit the post, and again, he just does not look confident at all.
He steers those ones. When he's within 25 metre, he steers the ball rather than kicking it long. And Cody Morris used to do this when he was at Waverley 3 years ago, and he was told to kick the ball out of the park, and when he started doing that, you get results.
Took 60 minutes for a Roval comment from Ray Baird for the first time of the year. Mark that one down, kick comes out. Dean Limback, it almost looks as if he's carrying some type of injury as well. Although he's taking the marks and out-muscling his opponent, something doesn't look right. Here's Daniel Mead. He loves to thump it long. He kicks from outside 50. Can Limback go the fly again at the bottom of the pack? Kick to the goal square. There's Limback. He won't miss that one from point blank range. He slams through his fourth goal of the afternoon. Make that 3. And yes, it is 3, isn't it, Brad? And I got excited, then I just completely stopped. But let's continue on the excitement, because Doncaster East have opened out to a very important 20-point lead in the second minute of this third term. And they are 6-7-43 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Waverley Blues 3-5-23. So front and centre is the place to be, and in position A and in boot to ball. You can't do anything wrong there. So Dean Limback kicks his third for the afternoon. He's the major goal kicker on the ground. The only major goal kicker on the ground. As the ball comes back to the middle here. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Make sure you keep us up to date right throughout the second half. If you're around the grounds and you're sitting in your car listening to those scores, or you're streaming it live around the globe on EFL.org.au, hashtag, or not even hashtag, it's on Twitter, it's @FootyEFL. Keep us informed. Ball's back in the middle.
3 goals, 3 for the day for Dean at Limback. Out of the middle now, Sapanchi takes possession. Real floating kick to the wing position, but he finds Walker. Walker takes the mark for the Blues. Neat kick by Walker was intended for Harrison, but it was chopped off well by McLeod. Sapanchi's handball was nicely defended.
Great tackle.
Strong tackle by Sleverson. And they never saw him coming then. He just bolted in from the side, applied the perfect tackle, textbook style, and gets rewarded with a free kick. Sleverson's kick to a big pack of players. No mark taken on the deck. They try and force it out. No one can really get a clean possession. That's Savage there on the bottom of the pack, as he so often is for the Blues. And it will be a ball up. A lot of players around the footy. Booted out by Sharp, high up and under kick. Big fist came from behind by Papa Constantinow, but it was straight into the hands of the Waverley Blues player in McCulloch it was, who's put it through for his first goal of the day, and that was a desperately needed goal for the Blues, really making something out of nothing there, Nathan McCulloch.
They certainly did, and look, it was a quick answer that Waverley Blues needed, but they've got to string 2 or 3 together to get right back into it.
Well, they're only a couple of goals down now, so they're certainly well and truly in the game.
And he kicked 32 goals last season for the Blues. Nathan McCulloch was their leading goal kicker. Hasn't really shown much today, so he's another guy who they need to get on the scoreboard.
Pye throws the ball back up now. It was brilliantly taken there by Stephen. He'll be wanting to make amends after getting sent off in that second term. Came out to Ceravolo. Had to go after it a second time. Players falling on his back. Aaron Bailey, the umpire, says no, that was all fair, and throw it to me, boys. I'll restart this game as quick as possible. Throws the ball up now. It was almost unattended, but Playstead won it. Got boot to ball. Kicks it in towards the middle of the ground. Who's going to go after this one? Shane Tennant, the skipper for Doncaster East. It's not often a new player comes to a club and is given the captaincy straight away, but
very rare.
Certainly won the respect of the whole playing list early on in the piece. As the umpire throws the ball up now, Batsanis tries to break a tackle, which was laid by Matty Harrison, and Pye restarts the game again. Knock goes over the top. Batsanis, a nice tackle there on Daniel Malloy, and the umpire said it was fair, so another restart here. Half-time out at Mitcham, and Mitcham leads 67-40 over South Belgrade. Ceravolo tried to get it out wide. Here's Mead on the left boot, kicks the ball inside forward 50. It was a bit of a scrambly old-looking kick. Doncaster East have the numbers. Stevens got the handball away, but it was a hospital one, and Waverley Blues get the free kick as Lukey McLeod was trying to run into an open goal, but got brought down. So across the half-back line, they'll look to restart play. Short passes on. Here's Playstead.
He's been a good player for Waverley Blues today.
Certainly has been. Short passes on to Sharp. Paddy Sharp sizing up his options here. One way, then the other. Elects to go short to Carboni. Those two certainly do look for each other. Carboni goes out wide. Here's McDonald with a little bit of space. He'll wind around on the left boot. It was a bit of a floater up towards the half-forward line. It's not going to hit the target. Bouncing football. Over the back there, Lowther was applying some pressure on his teammate there, on his opponent there, I should say, Will Edwards, who kicked a goal for the Waverley Blues already in this match, knocked over the boundary line and out of bounds. 7 minutes gone here in the third term. It's Doncaster East leading this one by 14 points.
They are indeed there. They look very stagnant going forward, the Blues at the moment. Not a lot of system shown as Edwards puts the kick across.
That's a free kick
towards
there.
The front of goal, and there is a free kick going the way of McCulloch.
It was over the shoulder there.
Yeah, it was against Papa Constantinow. And the free kick to Nathan McCulloch, who can go back and line up for goal number 2 of this quarter for him.
So the way Waverley Blues have been kicking for goal, there's no certainty.
He'll put this one through.
Well, he should.
Walks in, keeps the kick very low, but it was gun barrel straight right over the goal umpire's head and through for his second. McCulloch has 2. The Waverley Blues have kicked their 5th. 5-5-35 to Doncaster East. 6-7-43 Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Coming up to 8 minutes gone in the third quarter.
Waverley Blues are working just that little bit harder at the moment to try and maintain possession in their forward line. Doncaster East have had their chances though.
8-point ball game. It was getting tense out there in that towards the end of that first half. Expected to be the same. Playstead over the top, got the knockdown. Who's going to get the clearance here? Going in hard after the ball with Shalakis to lay the tackle on Will Edwards, who's had a good game for the Waverley Blues. He's fast, he's electrifying, and he's got a good disposal on him as well. Big fly there by Claven, got the knockdown. That was good play. Kick goes up towards the half-forward line where Sleverson takes the mark at true centre half-forward. Kicks the ball into the forward pocket. That is an absolute beautiful kick. And the mark has been taken there by Nathan McCulloch, who's kicked 2 goals. We saw him just slot another one there, and he could go back and put this one through. It was gun barrel straight, as Brad called it only moments ago. This time the angle was a little bit tougher to reduce the margin to 2 points. He leans over the football. He makes the goal umpire work very hard for that one. It was close, but no cigars. Through for a minor score. 9 minutes gone in the third term. They call it the Premiership quarter, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it is Doncaster East leading this one by 7 points. 6-7-43. The Waverley Blues 5-6-36.
And he was in the, I think, the top 5 goal kickers in Division 2 last season in the EFL. So he's a proven goal kicker, Nathan McCulloch, and he's starting to show it in this third term.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Waverley Blues 17 kicks to 8 this quarter, and that was their first mark inside 50 for the match.
So Dean Giles to bring the ball back in for the Lions. It's usually a thumping left foot kick. This is no exception. Massive pack of players camped under it. Claven fisted the ball towards the boundary line, and it will be a throw in.
It's almost as if all the recruits for Doncaster East have fluoro boots this year, Brad.
They do indeed.
Maybe that was a prerequisite.
Yeah, absolutely. Tennant, Lindback, Giles. Yeah, you're spot on. Maybe not Michael Stephen so much. This is Carboni, who takes possession, did it beautifully. Great balance. He shot it out to Rawlick, who copped a high one. Will it be paid downfield? No, the umpire didn't see that.
He definitely copped it.
Kick from the lines up towards McLeod at half-back. He did well in McLeod, kept his feet importantly, and the handball wasn't great. He tried to get it to Coghill. Now what's happened there is it come off Coghill's boot over the boundary line. So out on the full pate against the Lions there. Always bad luck when that happens. And the boundary umpire there just explaining that it just hit his foot and went over. So Mullicks now for the Waverley Blues. Too far out to score. Not a bad kick, although it was to a 1-on-2, which didn't favour Sleverson. Kick by Hogan was intercepted.
Great tackle.
It's a hotly contested footy at the moment. Tennant does really well, gathers the foot in, then gets to his feet again and tries to force his way through the pack. Couldn't do so. Umpire throws it up. Tennant knocked it towards the line and over for another throw-in. And BWS, you mentioned the similarity with their recruits and their bright boots, but also they're all real leader types, aren't they? Real leadership coming to the club this year with Tennant and Giles, Limback, Michael Stephen. They're all experienced players.
And big bodies too, Brad.
Exactly, big bodies. And it seems to have been a big change to the makeup of the Lions side this year, as Bailey takes the mark, goes very short. And I guess having lost Ash Neville and Lee Murphy, that's exactly what they needed, a bit of leadership to the group. As the long kick there from Claven to a big pack of players. No one could take the mark. Hickey, little intercept was important, paddled it on nicely. Handball was out into open space, that was dangerous. Shalakis does really well, gathers it in nicely. His handball was errant though, intercepted by Malloy. It's not pretty at the moment. Neither team really can hit their targets by hand. The kick there was intended for Agnew. It was fisted away though by Hogan.
That's a high tackle.
Good pressure, a high tackle though, and a free kick will go to the Lions and Dylan Agnew.
So Agnew about 75 metres out from goal. He's going towards the limb-back direction. He has to and he had his eyes all over that one, and he was too deep, but he came over the top and ripped it in. Like we said in the second quarter, he has got super jukes, and what a focal point he is up forward. 3 goals already in this game for the Lions, and in a very important kick, Raymond, this one.
Yeah, no, I back him to kick this one straight over the goal umpire's head. But the difference between the two sides, when they kick it to Limback, they kick it short so that he can move into the ball, whereas Waverley Blues have had 4 times and they've just bombed it down there.
Well, he's kicked 3-3, he wants 4-3, he's got 4-3, straight over the goal umpire's head. That one goes, and Doncaster East, they get the goal that they were after. 13 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, moving them to 7-7-49. A handy 13-point break over the Waverley Blues, 5-6-36.
Brash, at the start of the day, you said that Limback could be the difference between the two sides, and then for mine he certainly is, because as I said, he leads into the ball. It might only be 1 or 2 paces, but Waverley Blues, they've had 4 times they've just kicked it and 1-on-2 and they've been caught underneath it.
If you're enjoying the broadcast today, it is the 3rd term out here at Zerby's Reserve. 13-point lead to the Doncaster East Football Club as we restart it in the middle. Glenn Claven got the knockdown, but went straight into the arms there of Stephen, who got felled upon. Well, actually, no, it was a brilliant tackle by Claven and brought to ground.
Cliffy's having a good game today.
It was 200 games. Fantastic little handball out to Rawlick, who was put under a little bit of pressure there, so the kick went off the side of the boot, but it might work out okay. Here's Pete Sousby, turned himself into traffic straight away. Alex Mullicks brings him to ground, and will have a bounce across the half-forward line now for the Waverley Blues, looking for the answer. Doncaster East a 13-point lead. The skipper, Shane Tennant, barges his way through a bit of traffic, got a little handball out, then went after it again. He almost caught one too high with Alex Mullick's knee finding his face. But it was all in good intentions, and umpire Aaron Bailey will ask for the football back, and we'll have a restart. Just forward of centre, Papakonstantinou came over the top, got a little knockdown out wide. Handball now, Doncaster East. That went into no man's land, but Sharp was there, so too was Edwards. Bangs it on his boot, just wanted to gain that valuable meterage out towards the half-forward line, intended for Paul Savage, but knocked over the boundary line by Shane Tennant, and we'll have a boundary throw-in as we cross to Brash for some very, very special comments.
Yeah, look, interesting enough, Tim Whitty was off the ground for the first 10 minutes when Waverley Blues had their run. All of a sudden, Doncaster East have got the ascendancy because he's back on.
Placed it against Mill in the right time. Ball on the deck. Strong tackle applied there. McLeod tried to grab the footy and set off with it. Umpire pretty quick on the whistle. Balled up once more. Stephen put his head over the ball. Had Sharp then in opposition. Giles takes the footy and he's tackled as well. They're prepared to do the hard work, those big-bodied Doncaster East players like Giles and Michael Stephen. Trying to set the tone for their teammates. Stephen shot out a handball to Giles. Handball from Giles to Mead. Mead's kick looking for Morrison and fisted towards the boundary line then by Bailey. Hasn't had quite as big an impact in this third quarter, Billy Morrison. Thought he was really good in that second term. This is Playstead going up against Mill once more in the ruck. Sowersby throws it on the boot. Bit of a high up and under job. Bailey got the fist down to Rawlick. Rawlick's quick kick through some pretty heavy traffic was effective. Ball was somehow shot out then to Theory, but it was intercepted by Giles. Giles wants a free kick. The umpire says play on. This is a hard footy to win this one. Papakonstantinou there was tackled by Savage and by Dylan Cole as well. And once again, it will be a ball up. It's just going nowhere at the moment. Palm down to Theory, who copped one. Maybe got a poke in the eye, wasn't too happy about it. And, gee, really goes and
He went after it again, didn't he?
Hard tackle then. He wasn't happy at all with what happened. The umpire didn't see it. It was so not incidental. It obviously hurt him, but it was sometimes hard to spot those ones as the little handball came clear. This is Cole. Dylan Cole takes the tackler on. Couldn't beat the tackler, but somehow farmed the ball out to Savage. Savage's kick drifts across the face of goal and over the line in the forward pocket.
The Ringwood Football Club lead by 68 points at half-time over the Whitehorse Pioneers. 70-2, Ray Baird. We know that you're a big fan of the Whitehorse Pioneers.
Thanks, BWS.
Pye throws it in. Stacks on the mill. Third quarter, 10 minutes in. South Croydon 76 to Blackburn 49. So the Doggies looking like they might be able to get their first win for the season on the board. Three-quarter time. No, that's a reserve score from Scoresby. That's coming in extremely late as I follow Twitter. As Pye throws it up, it's about 45 metres out from the Waverley Blues goal line. Mead's in there at the bottom of the pack. He's trying to scoop the ball out, but we'll have a bounce.
BWS, Scoresby reserves are playing now because of the night game at Bayswater.
That's all right, BWS. You're not on Sydney time, mate.
You got the case of the Dyson Bakers there with your croaky voice there, Ray. As the ball spills out, Coghill, he rushes it through for one behind. 18 and a half minutes gone here in the third term, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it is 2 goals the difference, 7-7-49 to 5-7-37. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats. Don't get feisty with me.
Yeah, it's been about 5 minutes. 21 apiece the contested ball. Uncontested possessions, 16-7 in favour of Waverley Blues.
That'll learn you for just ignoring me in the first quarter as the umpire goes to bring the ball back into play now. Knocked down. Going after it there was Sharp, but Edwards just shanked a handball out. Here's Feary, couldn't quite trap the football. Carboni did though, handball back out to the Sharp direction. He'll have to use the left, he'll have to be dead-eyed Dick, but he kicked it out of bounds on the full, perhaps. Or even it might have been touch second grab, and we'll go with the latter and a boundary throw-in. So
what was the final score of the Carlton St Kilda game, by the way?
I'm not too sure. It's all about hashtag love it local this afternoon. Grant Campbell as the umpire throws the ball back in now. Handball was intended for Hickey, didn't come out to him, but Matty Sharp's there for the Blues.
Well done.
And he just spots up a target inside the forward 50 arc, and the mark has been taken. So very impressive play. It's Edwards who has the football, and we've talked about himself having a good game so far, and this is probably nearly the most important kick of the afternoon, isn't it, Ray?
It certainly is. Matty Sharp being great vision to see him out there.
So it's Will Edwards. He's kicked 1 goal this afternoon. We've seen players struggle from this position all day. Got to start at left and work it back. Instead he goes right and he pushes it across the face of goal, 4-1 behind. So margin back to 11 points here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Doncaster East sitting 7-7-49 to 5-8-38. We've hit time on here in the third term with Giles to bring it back into play, Brad.
Yeah, 1 goal, 2 today for Will Edwards as Giles thumps the ball in, bit of a floating kick. Not his best effort. It was intercepted by Rawlick, who races in. And that is a great goal by Bo Rawlick. A real team lifter for the Waverley Blues. Just what they needed. Brings the margin back to just 5 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Well, they've had all the play this quarter, Waverley Blues. They've been peppering inside 50s and trying to create scoring opportunities. They get a goal there right at the 20-minute mark. It's a handy goal, puts them only 5 points down. It's now up to Doncaster East. I think the question's been asked. They're going to have to respond.
3-3 to 2-1 this quarter in favour of Waverley Blues.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. Morrison and Claven. Morrison got the knockdown. It was shanked there by Shalaka's. Handball to Morrison, who wants to scoop it out wide, and now the Lions are away. The kick goes up towards the half-forward line. It wasn't a good one, though, making Musso work very hard for it. Somehow he kept it alive. I thought that might have been out of bounds, and the umpire had called it, so it'll come back and be thrown in across the half-forward line now for Doncaster East. So, umpire throws it in and knocks straight back over again. So
I reckon they're missing Marshall on that wing, BWS. He adds a lot of class to that, and he runs backwards and forwards and is very creative. Being one man down on the bench is really hurting him at the moment.
Yeah, thoughts definitely go out to him as well. It's not only a collarbone, it could be a little bit more serious than that, as Doncaster East try to work themselves out of a phone booth, but to no avail, and umpire will come back in and restart this match. That was Ceravolo handing it back to the umpire there. Big fly over the back. Here's Batsanas. Can he put a goal on the board? He had probably a little bit more time than what he initially thought, and he pushed it to the right-hand side. Minor score is the result. 22.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Doncaster East 7 goals, 8-50, lead it by 6 points. 1 straight goal. Waverley Blues 6-8-44.
Should have done better with that opportunity. When the ruckman spoon feeds you like that and you're running in towards an open goal, you do not miss. Particularly when you're only a goal in front, or 5 points in front.
That's a goal. Just waiting for them to press the button.
Yeah, it could prove to be...
That's a point, I should say.
Could prove to be a costly miss, that one by Batsanas.
Oh, wow. Well done, Cliffy.
Brings it back to half-back. Big Claven almost takes the mark. Couldn't quite drag it down. And...
bit unlucky there.
You wouldn't be upset if that had been paid, would you?
I thought he had enough of it.
Yeah, had a huge amount of it. Paddled towards the boundary line and over once again. So there has been that type of game. A lot of boundary throw-ins, a lot of ball-ups. Heavily contested footy this afternoon. Played in the Anzac spirit. This is Morrison, who won it clean from the ruck contest. Got it out to Hickey, who was forced onto his left foot. Hickey's kick, though, was damaging. Got it to the pack. Off the ground, Stephen gets a high one from Robinson. Still got his handball away, and gee, it looked dangerous then for the Blues, but in the end they managed to all they managed was a minor score than the Lions.
Well, the Bulls have some breathing space over the Norwood Football Club. They lead by 11 points 10 minutes into the third quarter as the Waverley Blues work their way out of the defence through Matty Harrison, who takes the mark right near the interchange bench. Go backwards to go forwards. Robinson or McCulloch or Mullix. Third time lucky up towards the half-forward line. Sleverson was the target. It went over the top of his head. Stacks on the mill, and Aaron Bailey will come in to bounce the ball. True centre-half forward for the Waverley Blues, who are coming. Make no doubt about that. Higher, throws it up now. Morrison gave it the old don't argue, won his own football, handball out towards, I think it was the Giles direction. Yes, it was. So, no doubt, Dean will be looking to thump it every bit of 50 to 60 metres, and he does that up towards the wing position, but standing strong, Jakey Bailey takes the mark and run into a bit of a pack as well, so certainly courageous. Had his eyes only for the football, and maybe he was a little bit groggy too, because his kick was an absolute shank. Shalakis came in, put his body on the line. Sousby lays a tackle, which was a little bit too crude, and Bailey will get another chance to redeem himself and move the football on here. Handball out wide. Here's Heinsohn. Little handball in towards the middle of the ground. Carboni on the left boot. Kicks it up towards the centre of the ground. Geez, he's got good skills, doesn't he? No, you were impressed, Brad. Rawlix had a good game. Back to Carboni. And listen to the faithful, not impressed about that one. It probably didn't need to be as harsh and a little bit stiff there.
It was against Agnew on Carboni.
Just fell onto his back. He probably only needed to lay the tackle, but the kick is not good, and Whitty was gifted a mark. Still in the middle of the ground. Mead screaming for it out wide, one way, but goes the other way anyway, and the mark has been taken by Musso. Can certainly kick a number of goals, Musso, but he's been pretty quiet today. Just pops it up. Papakonstantinou flew from the back, had to create the spoil, spilled there by Hogan. They've got the numbers, Savage, released for the football, and Luke McLeod comes in to dive on the pill and will have a bounce just inside the centre square, just forward for the Doncaster East Football Club. 26 minutes gone. It's a 7-point lead to the Lions. Claven had the big fly, came straight into the arms of Batsanis. Krawlik has him nicely wrapped up in a tackle and will have another bounce.
Actually hard to predict who's going to win this game.
Oh, absolutely. We've picked a good one for game of the day. Little toe poke there by Sousby. Went nowhere. Diving on the football, Heinsohn. He's got players in there for support as well. Harrison's in there trying to get rid of the footy, and the umpire will come in and bounce it. Jai Hardwick will be the man at the bottom of the pack. Hand it back to the umpire. Can Doncaster East manufacture something from here? Claven over the top. Knocked it out towards the advantage there of Sharp. He's paddling it towards his advantage there, but it was well done by Hickey. Little skewy handball, trying to reach a target. High tackle has been paid. For three-quarter time, only a 27-minute quarter there, and it was a quarter that was certainly won by the Waverley Blues. They did a